Life in quarantine is no joke, but there are moments of comedy, as highlighted on the new sitcom Connecting. The show follows a group of friends juggling life during the pandemic, including Annie, played by Omara Marrero. Take a look.
I want him to make the first move.
Is it really the first move if you have to trick him?
Trick who into making what?
Ben!
I had big plans for this year. Road trips, maybe falling in love. Instead, all the other thermometers were sold out, so I bought this meat thermometer. You think it'll work in my mouth, or I gotta stab it in my thigh like a chicken?
No.
And Omara is here with me now. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. So listen, many of us didn't think we'd be in a quarantine type situation at this point, right? But here we are. It almost
no
feels like the
different.
show is even more relatable now, don't you think?
Yeah, it's extremely cathartic because of this reason, because we're still here.
God. So when they first came to you and said, we're going to do this show, we want you to be a part of it, you're going to shoot it yourself on your iPhone. What was your first reaction?
To be honest, I got the email about the audition and I was like, yeah, no, that's a pass for me. And then I read the script and I was like, wow, this is good writing. It's smart, It's grounded, and it just really gives you the ability to kind of go through. It's a time capsule. It gives you it allows you to laugh at everything we've been through, but it's still extremely grounded and cathartic. And so I was like, wow, okay, well, let's give it a shot.
Yeah. So are you shooting it from your own home, right?
I am. Yeah. It's really interesting to kind of see it back when the episodes come out and kind of see what all the other actors are doing. I'm like, oh, I kind of envisioned that when I was listening to you, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see it back because I have no idea what anyone's doing. I knew how important every job on a set was, but I didn't realize how important how it all comes together and how everything is so detailed. And so when you're kind of doing everything, acting kind of just became an afterthought.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh wait, now I gotta say this monologue. What am I saying?
I can't believe that. It really is revolutionary that they're doing it in this way.
Yeah.
But each episode, like you said, it's kind of like a timeline for us for the past several months. I was curious if it was a little more challenging or if it was easier to be acting in something that's taking place at the current time with storylines that are based on what we've all been living.
Just to feel that chaos and the jitters and the panic buying and the not knowing what to do. And then Civil War happened, everything, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, just everything that happened. It kind of to relive it. It was like, wow, it's really real.
Yeah. And hard to relive it, I imagine. Yeah. The show talks about all the things that we've been going through. It talks about people losing their jobs and worrying about if they're going to be able to pay their rent. It talks about the killing of George Floyd.
The creators and the network, they were very inclusive to ideas and to just they just were so careful, and they just handled it with so much integrity and care. You want to make sure that you're not exploiting the situation,
Right.
and that you're kind of just giving it light in the right way,
Yeah, I'm glad that it was a collaborative effort. Did any of your own personal experiences kind of get folded into the show?
A little bit. Yeah, I think a little bit. I mean, I know Parv is so happy that he gets to play a gay man, a gay dad, and Shakina's the first trans woman to be on network TV.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had 2 Cuban writers, and that's been a first for me. So there was in the episode where I'm with my family, they were talking about dishes and me going back home to visit my family and leaving LA because I'm so lonely. And there was just so many little small words that made it truly authentic, and just reminded me of home and my family.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Well, on another front, your movie Clementine is on demand right now. And it's billed as a romantic drama. And I watched the trailer and I was like, it kind of feels like a thriller / horror film. How do you see it?
I think that's because of the score. I think the score, she did a phenomenal job with it, but I think it is a little misleading because it does feel like a thriller, but in a sense, it is very psychological. It's very much a breakup movie, a breakup and grieve and then come out on top. But it does have aspects of
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like, and you play a woman who goes off to kind of be alone in a cabin in the woods after a breakup, which feels like it's kind of fitting for the world we live in right now. Don't you think?
Very.
Yeah.
Extremely.
Well, I'm so glad that you've got these great projects going on. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me today. You can catch Connecting on Peacock and on NBC.com.